Okay, so I think let's get started. So firstly, super congratulations to everyone on getting shortlisted for IIFT Delhi. Uh, let's quickly have some more smiling faces, guys. IIFT is a very good college and you should all be happy and proud of getting through this session. Quickly on the chat, can all of you all just type in your CAT percentile? Let's see at what CAT percentile have you guys got your IIFT calls? Okay, I can see 95.9, 88.01, 89.28, 96.52, 96.25, 98.28, 98.31, 97.82, 97.11, 98.13, 92.34. Very good. Lovely. That's great. So congratulations, everyone, once again on getting shortlisted for IIFT. It's, trust me, one of the great colleges when you look at the non-IIMs, which are doing very well with respect to placements and the kind of faculties that come and teach as well also. So that's really good. But more than me, I think we should hear from our senior, which we have Himanshu here today.
Yes,
Hi,
thank you
Himanshu.
so much, ma'am. Well, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me here. Yeah.
Lovely to have you on board. Why don't you give us a quick introduction about you, your profile, pre-MBA, currently in MBA, and most importantly, how have you been mentoring these students through the mock interviews, and what should these guys keep in mind with respect to IIFT's interview experience per se?
Sure, sure. So first of all, congratulations to all of you right here. So as ma'am said, IIFT is one of the top colleges in India when we talk about the non-IIMs. So talking about me, I hail from Patna, Bihar. I'm a computer science engineer and I've graduated in 2021. Post that, I worked with one of my brothers in a startup as business development manager. And while working for 2 years, around 2 years, 1 month, I realized that I should give CAT and I should look for MBA, a proper 2 year structured program, which will teach me about the different domains of business. So I gave CAT, and I guess the people here are having more percentiles than I had. But yeah, my best call, my best shortlist was IIFT. And finally, I got my best shortlisted college, which was IIFT Delhi. So till
Love.
now, it has been a great journey. Yes, ma'am.
That's really interesting. Guys, we'll sorry to cut you in between, Himanshu, but how
No,
about
ma'am.
all
No
of you
issue. Yes,
guys?
ma'am.
For how many of y'all IIFT is your best call? Just type in on the chat, best call, best call, best call. Okay, we have Yuvanshu. Yuvansh, okay, pretty similar names. Interesting. Kashyap, Puneet, Hiren. Interesting, guys. That's really very good. So just like Himanshu has converted, I think all of you guys should pledge that you will also convert your best call, that is IIFT. And over to you, Himanshu. We'll love to hear now your interview experience. How was it last year when you gave the interviews?
So, ma'am, it was pretty well. Actually, I was lucky enough that my IIFT interview was the last interview that I gave. So before that, I gave interview for SIBM Pune. I gave interview for MDI. I gave interview for CAP IIMs as well. But till that moment, it was like, I was pretty trained for interviews. And last year, the format was for the IIFT was extempore plus PI. This year we are having GD as well, I guess, because IIFT on its LinkedIn handle, they has released that this year GD will be conducted. So for me, GD was not there. Well, I was pretty prepared for GD also because of different IITs and all. So my interview experience was altogether very good. Actually, it was more about international business. The questions were more focused on international business, why IIFT, and then one thing that I will ask you, like the fellow candidates to prepare is that you should have a proper preparation for structuring your sentences. So basically, the panelist for IIFT interview is the professor that we have at IIFT. They only take the interviews, so they look for proper structured answers. So that is one thing that I would like to say. Further, I can communicate more now. Over to you.
Okay, great. So, what were the kind of questions, Himanshu, you were asked? Because, like, for example, IIFT gives a very detailed application form to be filled, right? So,
Yes,
what
ma'am.
are questions on that basis, and how important is it to answer those form questions, like, in your opinion?
So like the SOP of IIFT is more or less same like other similar colleges like SIBM Pune that we have. Only different thing about IIFT is that there is one particular question on trade. So on international aspects. So there was a question in my SOP. It was about tell me about the global scenario that is going on currently and what is your viewpoint on that. So I had talked about the Red Sea incident that was going on at that point of time. So this is one thing which is very unique about IIFT. Also, when they take the interview, I'll tell you my interview experience. So we started off with extempore. So my topic was importance of emotions in marketing. So my topic was that. So I was given around 40-45 seconds to think upon that topic first, and then I was asked to speak for around 2 minutes. So I was pretty well in that. I performed really well in that. Then there were three panelists. All of them were ma'am. All of them were females. And then they started questioning about current affairs first. They asked about finance, current affairs. Then they asked about what's happening all around the world. First of all, they asked me that, what do you use to update yourself? Do you read newspapers? Do you watch YouTube videos? So I mentioned I watch YouTube videos. So then she started talking about the international affairs that was going on last year. Then after that, she asked me, why do you want to pursue a MBA in international business? What do you feel? What's so unique about it? Then I mentioned about the business, the globalization aspect of business. Then one of the ma'am asked me to give an example how businesses conduct globally. So for that answer, I mentioned the makhana because I come from Bihar. So I mentioned about makhana industry, how makhana industry is yet to be explored around the world. So I think that was the answer that impressed them a lot, and that only got me selected in IFT. I personally believe that.
Okay, okay, very interesting. So, what exactly about the Makhana industry did you talk about?
So basically, ma'am, 70% of production of makhana happens in Bihar, and we still don't have, proper structured board for makhana. So that is what government has proposed also this year, makhana board for like they are funding 100 crores. So this is what I mentioned that this particular makhana industry lacks the international aspects of business. So that I talked something around that. But well, I talked about it in a very structured way. As I said, the
Hmm.
professors, the teachers that educate us in the college, they only take the interviews. So they are more, inclined towards structured answers, something very conceptual answers. They are more inclined to that.
Okay. And were you asked any questions from your academic background? What have you studied, where, and or your hometown?
Not about hometown. I was asked one or two questions about my academic background. It was about computer science, but it was basic questions again, just because I was passed on in 21 and it was already 3 years that I had passed. So it was not more about my academic background. It was more about this current affairs that was happening around the world, not specific about India, but around the world. As we have the course is the international business, so
Yeah.
they were very specific to that.
Okay. And how about your work experience? Like, you graduated in 21 and now you were sitting for these interviews last year in 24. So did they
Yes,
ask
yes.
you about your 3 years of work ex and that
So I
experience?
basically had 2 years of work ex. At that point of time, I had mentioned 2 years and a month.
Okay.
So again, they were asking a little bit questions about my profile because it was a startup. Their questions was revolving around what I learned from by working in a team of 4 to 5, 6 people. So their questions was mainly about the learnings that I had in the 2 years, rather than introspecting about my work. It was more about the learnings. And also, I would like to mention that IFT is the only trade college in India. There is
Yeah.
no other college that talks about that teaches trade aspects. So they are specific to that as well.
Okay, great. Now tell me, how is life on campus? How has it been for the last few months that you have been spending there?
Well, ma'am, okay, so I'll reveal my percentile. So I had got only 95.12 percentile. I'm saying only because even in our campus, there are students with as high as 99.7, 99.8 percentiles. So that is why I'm saying only. For others who are having less than 95, don't get offended with that. You're having a great percentile. Just try to convert your best call that you have in your pocket at this point of time. So talking about the campus life, ma'am, it was one of the best opportunities that I have ever had in my life.
Hmm.
So sitting with peers with great backgrounds, people having workers from Amazon, Deloitte are sitting over here. People are students from SRCC, Sri Ram College of Commerce. They are sitting over here. They are our friends now. So it has been a great journey. And also, when we talk about the placements, obviously, every second student is worried about the placements when they talk about the MBA school. Something which we don't have to mention in the interviews. Okay,
Correct.
we have to talk about it informally, but not in the formal setup. So all of us are worried about the placement. So if I talk about the placements going very well, I would like to say that we entered the campus on 15th July. So first week was the introduction process with the senior tech, and then we started our classes from around 25th July. And 2nd August was the first was the date when the first company arrived for internships. Just
Yeah.
7 days after we stepped in the campus for like for the classes. So I would also like to say, so people are those who are having good percentiles here, one or the other way they are going to land in a good school. Not if not IFT, some college better than IFT or some good college. So just I would like to reiterate that start preparing for your internship preparation as well. You won't get much time. So because it will be very overwhelming when you get in the campus for the first 15-20 days, you won't get time, you won't get, mental presence at that point of time to prepare. So that is why when I conduct like my GD mocks and the PIs, I also, talk to the students from that perspective to train them so that when they enter into the campus, they get the best companies out there. The first, second, first top three companies that come to the campus now.
Lovely. That's really great. I think that's helpful for you to, understand about your interview experience, life on campus as well. And for all the students who've been listening on YouTube, thank you so much, guys, for joining in. Drop in the comment section if you all have any questions. But this is where we will be telling a goodbye to the YouTube family, and we'll focus more on the preparation, faculties, and a lot more for the closed audience. So, Himanshu, you can now with the students share details about, who are the faculties who take our interviews, what should the students prepare very specifically to make sure कि यार यही call है और ये convert करनी ही